p.m.?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, well, let's call the meeting to order then. It's 7 o'clock. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chelmsford Conservation Commission meeting. This meeting is being recorded. And the first item we have on tonight's agenda is actually our reorganization. So that's another year's gone past here, and we're starting another fiscal year. So this is our opportunity for the commission to elect our officers. So we have a chairman position, the clerk position as well, and also a very important position of our Community Preservation Commission representative. So we've let's see who's chairman. So who's interested in taking a turn this coming year as chairman? I've done it for the past year and it's been good, but it's it'd be good for somebody else to take the wheel, so to speak.
I mean, you don't want it?
I mean, I'm like,
If nobody else wants it?
yeah, if nobody else wants it, I'll take it. That's, yeah, I think that was what happened last time, actually, Dave.
By default.
By default, I think.
Sounds like Chris is still chair.
I think we looked for volunteers last time, and everybody stepped back, and I was kind of left like
I
stated
nominate
there.
Chris Carahan for chair.
I second it.
All right. Well, are there any other nominations? Any other candidates who want the job?
The throne.
I thought Chris Tamula was going to be a lock-in tonight when he hadn't shown up.
Nope.
10 of, but nope. All right. Okay. So all those in favor of the nomination, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Unanimous. Okay. So I'm back for another year. But hopefully it'll be a quieter year this year coming up. It was like, I think I was chairman last time, and we lasted maybe 1 or 2 meetings before the agent resigned on us. So we really like we really like stability in this.
Direct correlation?
I don't know. I mean, as soon as David stepped down, man, she was
Everything fell apart.
gone. Yeah, everything fell apart.
I think we still need to have,
No comment.
we still should have a vice chair and a secretary in one slot.
Yeah.
We don't need 2 people, I don't think.
No.
Oh, you had 2 volunteers.
We didn't need. Yeah, it's hard. So we've got Carl has done a worthy job when he's been here. A worthy.
I nominate Carl.
Carl.
I make a motion to re-elect Carl as vice chair and secretary.
A second.
All right. Whoa, that was fast. Vivian, you get that?
I did.
All right, good. Do we have any other candidates? Any volunteers?
Gibbs.
Mark, yeah, you got a great voice, Mark, for doing those.
My hands are on my foot. Look at this.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Unanimous. All right, so then now we move on to one of our most important positions, the Community Preservation Committee representative. This involves typically like maybe 1 meeting a month that has to be attended. No, not even that.
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
It's like 3 times a
Three
year.
times.
3 times a year.
Yeah,
So it's
they don't
not
meet often.
a heavy lift.
No.
But sometimes we've had folks that have had challenges getting there. But we've had
Nobody's looking for money, they don't meet.
nobody's looking for money. All right. So Carl, you've been doing it for the last year, right?
Couple of years, yeah.
Okay.
Well, since I joined. The day I joined, you said you're on the CPC.
Okay. Good.
That's what happened to me.
So it's a rookie.
Yeah, so
Yep. Uh-oh.
I nominate John Swenson.
Is there a second?
Carl, do
on
you
that?
want to stay on?
I don't mind.
All right. Well, that's good.
It's pretty late.
All right. So we
Is
have a
that
motion. Then?
withdrawn?
I'll nominate Carl Bischoff,
All right. So we have.
BC chair.
So John, you're up to hook for now.
I'll second it.
Okay. And seconded for Carl. Okay. All right. So we have just one nomination, Carl. We have failed on a second for John. Luckily for John. So, all right. All those in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? All right. Unanimous. Okay. So our reorganization's complete.
No changes.
No
Democracy.
no changes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's nice to see democracy in action.
Stability.
There was no insurrection this year or anything like that. It's a peaceful non-transfer of
Unlike
authority.
some places.
Yeah, unlike some places, Yeah. All right, so moving along, open session citizen concerns. Do we have anybody in the meeting here that has something that's not on the agenda that want to bring to the commission's attention tonight? All right, hearing none, we're moving on. Okay, regulatory hearings. The request for determination of applicability, this was continued from June 28, 2022. James Sullivan, 40 Old Stage Road. with Mr. Jeffrey Hannaford representing the applicant. All right. Are we present?
I'm here. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Hi, Jeff Hannaford, representing the applicant, James Sullivan at 40 Old Stage Road. Since the last meeting, we did a site visit, David Koontz and I, and went over the particulars. David asked for some erosion control around the detention ponds in the front. I've added that to the plan, as well as submitted a detail on the erosion control itself. We checked out the resource area in the back, looked at the sheds, that issue. I talked to the owner. One of the questions last meeting was how the shed would be moved, and they are going to roll it forward. They're going to probably pull it forward on rollers with a truck. So it should be minimally invasive. And then, of course, the other shed completely removed, and the town-owned property allowed to go back to a natural state.
Good. All right, good, good. And I remember last time we met, the commission had some questions, but we were basically satisfied with the proposal and the project as presented. David, anything you want to add here?
No, I think we pretty well covered all of the concerns, so I recommend a negative determination with, standard conditions.
All right, so we have the recommendation for a negative with standard conditions. Unless there's any questions, does someone want to make a motion to approve with the negative standard conditions?
I'll make a motion.
Chris Tamula on the motion, and a second by Mr. Dave McLaughlin. Any discussion before we vote? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None unanimous. You're all set, Mr. Hannaford.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Jeff.
And congratulations.
Thank
I saw it was a close vote.
It was nip and tuck,
I do just want to say a couple of things about the concern, one of the concerns that led to this filing, which was really impressed upon me when at the site visit. There's clearly a lot of encroachment on this town-owned property. All around the neighborhood. I could see at least a couple of other houses, probably more, just from this property where there's encroachment. I know of at least one other property where there's encroachment. I still need to verify that this is in fact Conservation Commission land. I have found the original deed to the town, but it was to the inhabitants of Chelmsford, which means that it's general municipal purpose land, unless and until it's turned over to the Conservation Commission, which I assume was done at some point. I still haven't found that town meeting where it was done, but I think that there really should be an agenda item devoted to an upcoming meeting, assuming it is conservation land. How does the commission want to deal with this? All of this encroachment.
Before you do that, Dave, there's probably, if you look at all of the old stage roads
Mhm.
in that development, that Campanelli development, almost every one of them, backyard abuts on conservation.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not just, I'm sure it's not just it's gotta be what, 30 years, more?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not just one or two, a few encroachments, and it may require us to notify all of them.
It might.
Once you do your homework,
Yeah,
notify all of the homeowners.
yeah.
Because the encroachment, I'm sure, is done, it's not done on purpose, probably, it's just an oversight.
Right. I mean, there's no boundary lines marked out there. So I think the first order of business is for me to verify that in fact it is Conservation Commission land. Then I think it's a matter of having an agenda item, to talk about how the commission wants to deal with this.
Sounds good, David. Good.
Wanted to mention that.
Yep. Good. All right, then moving on the agenda, next up is the notice of intent, William and Tabitha Kelleher, which was also continued from our June 28th, 2022 meeting, 16 Pleasant Street, with Mr. Gerald Foley, representing the applicants. Mr. Foley, why don't you come forward, just give us a quick update.
So we got a file number yesterday.
Excellent.
It's not on their website yet, but I think we did get a file number.
Yes, I saw
You got
that.
a copy of that.
Yes.
And other than that, the other homework to do is I contacted Shea Concrete about the wall and you know, the drainage, the concern about hydrostatic pressure behind the wall. And they said the whole purpose of that wall design being porous is to alleviate the hydrostatic pressure. However, they said in some cases they have put in a perforated pipe along the base with an outlet at the both ends and one in the middle. So I don't have a detail from them, but my assumption is that they have some sort of a detail for a cut through on one of the blocks that we could let that, if any water should happen to collect behind the wall, that we could alleviate that. And if we do that, we'll provide you with whatever details you need on that. My guess is it would probably be just a pipe that's flush with the end of the wall, with some stone riprap at the bottom to dissipate the energy and go from there.
Okay, good. Let's see, that was kind of the only issue I was remembering that we had come up, but let's see if the commission has any last questions or comments before we take some action. Anybody in the commission, questions, comments here?
Well, I talked to an excavator the other day, and he told me that Shea's system is just about the best that he has ever used. And I talked to him, and he says the first row is the most important
Right.
one. Okay, obviously, we all know that. And he said, with the stone, the amount of stone you put behind this wall, he's never had a problem, and he's installed a lot of them. And
Who's that, might I ask? Who did that, might I ask?
it was on a job in Newton,
Oh, Newton?
yeah. And his name was Carl. And he knew Freddie Hogan. So somehow I think he knew me too, but
Everybody knows you, Joe.
he did tell me that he thought that system was the best that's out there,
Yep.
Good,
you know?
excellent. That's good. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Bruce, anything?
I'm good.
Good. Dave?
Yeah, my only comment is, our concern about the wall is not so much about conservation. It's my concern is more about making sure it's built right so the homeowners don't get screwed, that's all. I don't have any other comments.
Okay. All right. Bill, good. Mark?
The only issue, apparently it's not an issue, was the impervious area around the pool. There's quite a bit of impervious area there. And that water's got to shed somewhere, but if they're comfortable with it, they knew there's a pool going in there, and that's all gonna be impervious around the pool?
Yeah,
Concrete?
we sent them this design,
Okay,
and they came back with that plan.
okay.
Okay. Good. Yeah, Carl, anything?
No, okay.
David?
I would just recommend a special condition that prior to the start of construction on the wall, get the plan. We will need the plan from Shea, showing the detail of the drainage and other construction
Okay.
detail. So that'll be a condition in there.
Okay.
Maybe you could meet them out there, Dave?
Yep, that'll be in there as well.
Good.
Was the rain garden too on the right-hand side, was that
No.
a question?
No, there was no rain garden proposed. I had suggested
But there's an impression there.
they might consider one, that's all.
I was concerned of the neighbors' water washing out to,
The neighbor.
The dad's property.
The dad's
Yeah,
problem.
neighbor, family.
I think the roof runoff was just gonna go into the yard,
Right.
as I recall.
Well, there is
And I had
a
suggested
line going out to that depression.
I don't know, are you guys gardeners? I mean, a rain garden's neat. It works. But it's a garden you gotta take care of.
that's it.
All right, good. Good. Well, this is a public hearing, so if anybody from the public has any last questions or comments before we take action, just let me know. All right, nothing from the public. Okay, so we are in here, this is a notice of intent, so we're looking at a order of conditions with standard conditions, as well as we've got the condition related to David being out there before the work starts, and also the condition related to the plans, the updated plans.
Yeah,
right?
and now that I think of it, I'll probably put a condition in there as well for some kind of regular reporting. by the contractor on, what the work was done, say during the week, and,
Yeah.
the status of the site.
Because really, it's, as we talked last time, it's a pretty big project, really.
It's a
big project.
major
It
excavation,
really is, so.
going away.
And there are a number of issues similar to what we encountered up on 30 Russell Road, and I put a couple of conditions in there about regular reporting.
Should be consistent.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'll do
And
that.
it'll
We
look-
have, we have standard operating procedures for pools, would you just make sure the homeowners have them?
Sure, yeah.
All right, okay, so if we can have a member make a motion then for the order of conditions with
It
special
should be
conditions?
first to close the hearing.
We have a motion to close the hearing.
So move.
All right, do we have a second to close the hearing?
Second.
Second by Chris. All those in favor of closing the hearing? Aye. Any opposed? None. All right. So now we need an order of condition motion, please.
Move we issue a -3?
This will be an order of conditions.
Is this an order?
Yeah.
I know why.
Yep.
I move we issue a standard order of conditions with 2 special conditions I think you identified. One-
Actually, it would be
One
three.
was meeting
It's three.
3.
Yes. Yeah, it's,
You all know what they are?
Yep.
Okay.
You got those, Vivian, right?
You got the plans for the wall, regular reporting during construction, and pool operating manual.
well, and an on-site meeting. At least one on-site.
Right.
On-site visit from our agent. Okay. All right, good. So we have the motion by Dave. Do we have a seconded? Seconded by Billy. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, folks, you're all set.
Thank you for your time. David,
That's
thank
good.
you for your help.
Good. How's the baby
Okay,
doing,
thank
by the
you.
way?
Doing very well.
Baby's doing well? Good.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Take care. See you now. And next on the agenda is discussion items. We have on the agenda the operation and maintenance plan, certificate of compliance for the back restoration at Wellman Ave, DEP file 129-0831. We were waiting for some confirmation on that. I think we'd asked Mr. Diggs to.
I recommend we postpone this.
Postpone?
Until such time when Mr. Diggs can be here.
Let me just add some information. I got some notes that I took on December 20th, 2016, where the only reference I made in it was the operation and maintenance plan is to be maintained by the Williamsburg Association, and that we needed the association to sign off on that.
Which they never did.
No, so, I mean, at least we did, I got a note that we did discuss it.
Okay.
Did we sign the COC?
Well, that's the issue. I
Yeah,
know that-
yeah. That,
Apparently, we did.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
the last mention in the minutes was the commission was tabling it pending resolution, and then I can't find it, any mention of it since then. But yet we haven't issued in a recorded order of certificate of compliance, so.
What are we gonna do if we can't get any more information, Dave, do you know?
Well, I mean, the order of conditions says that the operation and maintenance plan shall be at the association's expense. And that actually, in the certificate of compliance, that's referenced as a perpetual
But
condition.
which takes precedent, the order of conditions or the certificate of compliance?
Well, both, because they both say the same thing.
Okay.
So, I mean, one way or the other, my interpretation is that the association, not the town, is going to have to pay
Yeah.
for
Well,
this
that I
work.
think was our intent.
Yeah,
Okay.
clearly.
Good.
All right, very good. So we'll just table this for a future date then, after you get a chance to get a hold of Representative. Okay, so next up is we already covered the Community Preservation Committee representative, so we got that covered already. Moving on to continual business. We have our update on Warren Pole Reservation.
I think you saw a couple of the emails, Chris. The DPW is getting started with, first they're clearing the vegetation, but it's part of the project to improve the driveway access and create the parking area. We had an on-site meeting last Thursday, Carl, Dave, and I, with Christine, DPW Director Christine Clancy, and Superintendent Joe Erickson. The question that's kind of come up, as a practical matter, it's actually not all that surprising, is what sort of surface should there be on the driveway access and the parking area? The discussion about asphalt grindings came up at the site meeting, but that's, I've only ever seen, those services are impervious. The order of conditions explicitly states that those areas will not be paved. I checked with DEP. She said, well, my driveway is asphalt grindings and it's not pervious, although she did say it's the Conservation Commission's decision. I guess the other possibility was to do some kind of crushed stone, sand, and gravel base. They both options have the downside of, when they're plowed, if they're plowed, that, they're going to be kind of torn up, whether it's the asphalt grindings or, crushed stone. And so that led me to ask the question, Dave and Carl and I had a conference call this afternoon that led me to ask them the question, well, is it going to be used in winter? And because it wasn't clear to me that was the case, but I think I heard from both of them that yeah, we need to plan for it being used in winter. It's going to have to be paved. So then, I'm sorry, it's going to have to be plowed, not paved. So then that, sorry.
It might have to be paid every year.
So that then basically led to, I think the consensus was, well, let's not do anything to it. Let's leave the service as it is, except for, doing some regrading and maybe some filling in areas, that are most important, for safety, for purposes of widening, and let's see how that works out. Let's see if it's not too muddy to be able to use in the springtime. So I think that's a good approach.
I've driven it in the winter and the spring, and yeah, it gets muddy, but all our sites are basically the
They all get
same.
muddy.
All of our sites
They all get muddy.
are like that, and
And most of them, even though they plow them, have 2 or 3 inches of ice on them anyhow,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
I went to Cranberry Bog this winter one time, and I came down the hill, and it was icy, and there were cars in there, and I almost
Kept going.
went right into it. It's like, whoa, that's not good. But that's pretty unusual.
So
I totally agree with David.
We have used street grindings on a couple of parking lots. We use them at Russell Mill. We use them at the lime quarry.
Hard pond.
Do they use them at Hart Pond?
Yeah,
We-
yeah,
Actually, where we use them.
You got
And-
feedback for that.
And and they do plow Russell Mill and they do plow the lime quarry. And we do have to replace the street grindings at the lime quarry only at the apron out to 110
Right.
because of it gets dug out. So it hasn't been a problem of major maintenance, but I think the recommendation of let's have the DPW level the driveway, fill in the holes that end up once, and see how the winter goes.
All right, that sounds like a pretty reasonable
I think there's
recommendation.
gonna be problems there.
No, and
Problems?
I do think Warren Pole will get used in the wintertime for
Oh,
cross-country
absolutely.
skiing.
Yeah. I just think coming down there on both sides, it's open.
Yeah.
If it's icy,
Yeah.
I would have no objections to putting the grindings in there, but it's up to us. Is that what
Well,
the
we can't.
DEP said?
Well, yeah.
I think so, but
But the grindings are gonna be plowed up.
yeah, and I think you might be right, but I would rather we try it.
Okay.
And then if in a year we go, yeah, we really need to do that.
I'd rather go gravel before the grindings, because the gravel.
Sometimes they mix some grindings in with the gravel.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe you get some
They've
pervious.
been
We-
known to do that.
Yeah, and I've had some experience down in Yarmouth with similar situations where we had to be, we're in there in an environmentally sensitive area, so you couldn't just bring grindings in
Yeah.
that close. So you had to work on something that was, not impervious. So you
I'm
get some
surprised the
mixtures.
DEP doesn't say you can't use
Yeah.
grindings because they're impervious. You can't use it, within a certain distance of the wetlands, but apparently they didn't.
I would think it all depends on the compaction.
But
Well, grindings can be they
Right.
get compacted once you
Yeah,
put
you
them
gotta put
down.
them in
We use them at the dog park,
that thick.
and honestly, we haven't had a problem with the plows digging them up. The dog park parking lot is all grindings.
And you plow it every winter?
Yep.
And you don't lose it?
But is it pervious? I don't think so.
Grindings.
It's impervious, yeah. It becomes an impervious
It does
surface,
become solid.
So,
yeah.
or
I
it's
mean, I agree with
supposed to.
David.
But I like the idea
No,
at some point maybe of a mixture, but let's wait.
I think we're
let's
gonna
wait
try
and
it,
see.
and see.
You know,
What we did down in my Yarmouth location was we basically, there were some depressions, we put some gravel in some of the depressions to kind of keep that firming up, or we used some gravel along, you know, the side banks to kind of help, you know.
Well, we used to have a grader in Chelmsford, and they used to come by and do the gravel
And-
roads in Chelmsford.
And we would grade, honestly, in Yarmouth, we actually had a grader that would come in and kind of grade things out
Don't
each
own a
year.
grader no more.
I don't think the town has one.
Nobody used to oil the roads.
Well, yeah,
Sand.
yeah, oil the roads,
But they
yeah.
sold
Bobby
the
Greenwood,
grader.
I think, did that, you know.
We don't have a grader?
No, we sold it.
Oil, he was dumping out of his truck though.
Yeah, I suppose if we're not.
It was a pretty big grader to go in there and do what they,
Okay, all right. So, I think that's our,
Well,
that's
that's
our
our
current
feedback,
approach,
I
and
guess,
that was our
right?
recommendation
yeah.
to Christine and Joe.
Which should make them happy, because I think it'll be less work for them.
Yep.
yeah.
And a bunch of trees were taken down, 7 of what we felt were the most dangerous trees. Those have been taken down by Arbor East. I don't know if you want to give an update on the kiosk.
The kiosk is there. We've asked Joe Erickson if when they get the driveway and the parking lot all situated to drop 2 holes where we say, and we'll, once those holes are in place, we'll get a crew and put the kiosk up. Shouldn't be a big deal. It's all ready to go. Looks really good. I'm pleased with how I think it will look. The trails are being cut on a regular basis, and I am working with a young lady to get a trail map done, and we'll get signs done, and hopefully that'll be done in the next couple of weeks.
So when do you think it'll be
Few
open
weeks.
to use?
Well, that's tough to predict. Hopefully,
They told us they weren't gonna start till the end of July, and now it sounds like they've started.
yeah, I think, I mean, I would hope by the end of August at the very latest. Hopefully it'll be sooner than that.
So we need to order a granite sign. And we haven't really discussed it. My recommendation is it be called the Warren Pole Reservation, Chelmsford Conservation Commission 2020, whatever the year was, the
2020.
town,
Yeah.
whatever the year was, the town bought the property, not the year we open it.
Yep.
And have it in the same form as we did for the other ones. Billy, you know the guys up there, you can talk to them.
Okay. Tell me when.
Yeah,
Well, I think
I
you-
think when we get the driveway and especially the parking area laid out,
At one-
then we'll know where we want to put that sign.
We still don't know where. And at one time you said it was for like a 5-week.
5 weeks.
5-week lead time.
That's fine.
Just let me know.
All right, good.
Dave Kuntz made a comment today, which I thought was interesting. We're in a drought season. And now that the beavers have kind of taken over a portion of Warren Pole, they've actually created wetlands
Yes,
for
they have.
wildlife that might not be there during a drought. So anyone that criticizes us for not getting rid of the beavers and making it into farmland should recognize the beavers are creating wetlands for the wildlife.
Oh yeah, I think it's really a lifesaver for a lot of wildlife.
I have a trail cam out there, and there are herons, deer,
Really?
all kinds of stuff. It's very, very active.
People that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It should be there.
So hopefully we'll get some rain though.
Are they gonna pave when they come off Boston Road, an area, a certain, like where the house is?
It already is paved
Yeah.
about
Yeah, but
12 feet or so.
Yeah,
Enough
they're
for a
gonna-
car to get out.
The apron's more than 12 feet long.
Yeah, the apron's
The apron's like 25
it's
feet
good
long.
for somebody pulling out onto Boston Road.
Okay.
The apron almost
Get
goes
that
down to the
closer.
back door of that first house on the right, first unit on the right.
Now that might be an issue when it's icy.
John, the town will have to provide some kind of signage
Yep.
for traffic coming off, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
haven't told us what they
I
want
mean,
to do.
that's a big safety issue.
I mean,
really.
we can't do that. The town has to determine.
They might
I don't
wanna
think
put a
they wa- I
light
don't-
there.
They don't want. I don't think they want another crosswalk.
I
There's
don't
one,
think the neighbors want to.
there's one down by Hall Street. Is it Hall?
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah,
they're just
that-
gonna leave that crosswalk there.
yeah, that crosswalk's way too far to, but there's gonna be a lot of neighborhood, people coming in across the street right there.
Is there any concern with the people in those condos about,
Yes.
they've been expressed?
Well, they're understanding what's happening and they're going with it, but they have, they're.
They haven't seen the reality.
Yeah. Um, They recognize it is what it is.
Because they were talking about moving some of the guardrail
Well,
and
that
some of
was,
the
that was,
curbing out
that was the
front.
town engineer, Yanley.
Yeah,
You
but
saw what
they-
happened to him.
But Mr. Erickson, Mr. Erickson said he didn't believe, and I think
Right.
Christine supported, said they didn't think that
Right.
the town put that guardrail in, that was.
Oh,
the-
they thought, I didn't even
House.
say that. They thought it was private?
They thought the house, the builder, because they said, there's no reason for that, this doesn't meet any of our town requirements for putting a guardrail in.
Well, that might have been in an order of conditions when they built them condoed that out.
A car hit it one time.
Hit
Over
the
into the
house?
Yeah, hit the house,
Yeah, yeah.
That could, the family,
That'd be a
the
reason for
owners of
doing
the
it.
place might have said, hey, let's do this, but.
All right, good. All right, well, thanks for the update then.
Just one more thing, we are making progress on the CR. We met with, maybe you talked about this at the last meeting, but we did meet with the Land Trust a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and we're waiting for their lawyer to provide us with an update on the changes that we'd all agreed to in that meeting. So we're moving forward there. It's actually,
We're in agreement. Both parties are in agreement with the language that's to be in the final document.
Good. All right, good, excellent. All right. Wildlife Refuge press release.
Yeah, I think we should put out a little notice just saying that we've named the two parcels as we did. I don't know whether you got did I send out a copy of the press release? I asked for Dave's comments and Carl's. I can read it to you. I can get you a hard copy. You can give Chris and me and Dave and Carl the authority. It doesn't take too long, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chelmsford Conservation Commission designates 2 additional wildlife refuges. At its meeting on June 28th, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission designated 2 additional wildlife refuges within the conservation property it manages in Chelmsford. One refuge is off Smith Street, next to the Chelmsford Water District. The other is between River Neck Road and Route 495. A wildlife refuge provides a vital and diverse environment for the town's wildlife by conserving and protecting the diversity of native wildlife habitats and species with minimal human intrusion. A refuge complex encompasses all wildlife as well as all threatened and endangered species. The Black Brook Wildlife Refuge encompasses 16 acres of wetlands on Smith Street and abuts 36 acres of wetlands owned by the Chelmsford Water District. Black Brook flows through the area. And I've got a map of the refuge. The Meadow Brook Wildlife Refuge consists of 44 acres of wetlands and uplands. Meadow Brook traverses the site. The site abuts Route 495 on the north, Dawn and Carter Drive to the west, and private property to the south and east, including the Chelmsford Water District. All these properties to the south and east abut River Neck Road. The refuge presently has an endangered wood turtle population that is being studied by the Franklin Park Zoo. Landing turtles have been observed at St. Joseph's Cemetery on River Neck Road nearby. Then there's a map of River Neck Road, and then the final paragraph is, with these 2 refuges, Chelmsford has 3 wildlife refuges totaling 73 acres, including the 13-acre Bobby Greenwood Wildlife Refuge between Concord Road and Algonquin Road. Our wildlife refuges have limited public use to promote wildlife habitat. The only permitted use by the public in the wildlife refuges is walking on existing trails. Motorized vehicles may be used by the mobility impaired on existing trails. There is no parking available at the wildlife refuges. I can't say that word. Refuges. Refuges are open to the public during daylight hours, dawn to dusk, except as otherwise noticed or posted. There are 11 other conservation reservations encompassing 745 acres that allow the public a variety of passive recreation activities. Persons using town reservations and refuges do so at their own risk and must observe any reasonable request made by the Concom or its duly authorized agent. That's short. I thought we'd put it in the town website and maybe put it on Facebook. Paul Cohen has, what, a quarterly newsletter?
Yes.
Put it in that,
Yeah.
and put it in that newsletter as
good.
well.
Good. Guys, everybody like that?
It's good.
Good, good. All right, let's go with it then.
No sight signs, right?
The newsletter,
I'm
you
sorry?
gotta have
No
it in
sight
the
signs, right?
You shot me down. I'm gonna bring it up later. I'm not gonna bring it up now.
Wait till Mark leaves.
Yeah.
That's how things are done around here.
Vivian, what was your question?
I just said, if you're gonna do it in the town manager's newsletter, the deadline for that is 22nd.
Of July? All right.
All right, well,
I'll finish it up, give it to Dave, and Dave can give it to the,
Okay, I should be able to make that. I got a couple of orders of conditions I need to get out.
who do you send it? You give it to Cohen? Is that what you do?
Yeah,
Or is
you
there
send it
somebody
to the
that
town
handles
manager's
it?
office.
Well, the way it worked with the Warren poll was, I just posted it as a news flash on the website, and then either Paul or Christina then just used that in the newsletter. So I think it can probably work the same time this time. I'll just request that they put it in. He put it in his letter.
all right, let's have a motion then to approve the Refuge press release.
So move.
So moved. By Bill,
Second.
seconded by Mark. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, so we're good. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for putting that together. All right, so for approval signature, we have listed here certificate of compliance for 11 Plum Street.
So I think the commission actually approved that last week. I just didn't have the signature page, so.
Okay.
I just.
All right, so we'll pass that down for signatures.
Wasn't
Good.
here, right?
Right.
On the street with it.
You can actually still sign.
And then minutes,
Didn't go down.
Still
Vivian's
working on
They
it.
get a,
working on minutes? Okay.
they get a quorum.
All right, next time.
Or do you want approval on the 24th and the 14th?
I haven't written them yet.
Oh, well.
I'm working on the 24th,
What was the one you sent around?
May 10th.
And we approved that
Yes,
one?
that's-
Oh, okay.
Yep,
All
that
right.
got approved. So,
Good.
I had a question. Chris.
Yeah, Bill?
Have you been up to Russell Road lately? Where are they at there?
No, but he is sending me the regular reports.
Okay.
They still haven't poured the foundation.
Right.
I guess that they've done the excavation. Don't know what's delaying the foundation for so long. I think that they're very frustrated with that. But,
Money.
so last time I was up there was probably about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It looked fine.
Yeah,
And I
good.
don't think anything's changed since then. They're maintaining the erosion control in good condition.
Good. Yeah, I just want to make sure we stay up on it.
No, he's,
Russell Road.
they've been very good
Yeah,
about
good.
keeping me informed. And
Good, thank you.
How about Freeman Lake as far as that treatment and all that? Did that get, anything happening on that at all?
Well,
It's
not
kind of running
yet
out of
because-
the window, I think, of opportunity.
Well, we are still in the appeal period. So if it is appealed, yeah, nothing's going to happen up there this summer. I think that's just about a guarantee.
Severn's going to appeal it?
Well, I don't know for sure. Wanda Dunn said she would. I mean, she got an email from her saying she would.
And now that she's retired, she's got time to do it.
I think that
That's all right.
the appeal period ends on Friday,
Friday?
so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Getting kind of late from them to treat it.
Yeah.
Regardless, right?
Yeah, because they were talking, they had to do it kind of before now.
That's right.
Yeah.
They wanted to do it by the end of June. And so,
Okay.
So, if it gets appealed, the money that was appropriated for that
Well, it still can be spent before next June.
by next June,
It's a fiscal year thing, yeah, exactly.
so,
yeah, I don't know if it's an annual contract or not,
There was a one-time, that 60 grand was a one-shot thing.
but and a contract has been signed, but I don't know how long, I don't know what the term is.
Yeah, I don't either.
right.
Maybe only 1 year. See what I can find out about that.
But did a lot of engineering already though, didn't they?
Did they do a grid of the lake and,
Well, they did enough in order to make a quote that added up to 60
Yeah.
grand.
oh, okay, so that was, oh, okay.
That's what engineers do, right?
Spoken as a financial officer over here.
I didn't mean to get a joke out of it.
Oh, you got a couple of laughs, for sure.
Don't even try, you're witty.
You look so guilty when you go, sure.
Well, so we'll see what happens.
All right. So keep us informed. Anything else before we adjourn for tonight's meeting? It was nice and quick tonight. For change.
Next, the 26th look busy?
Yeah, when are we meeting next? Yeah.
The 26th, yeah, we do have a new NOI. And it looks like we've got an NOI filing for the 9th as well, or we'll be getting one shortly.
I will not be here.
All right.
We gotta kill one of these nights so you can have some freer time, Dave.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Good way of putting it, Dave.
It's a very good way of putting it.
That's his way of saying, get caught up.
No, no, no.
He doesn't want to be here.
That's a good way of putting
This
it.
guy's grinding out a lot of work.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Seconded by Chris Demula. All those in favor, aye.
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 None opposed, unanimous. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's Conservation Commission meeting is concluded.
Before we get in trouble.
Thank you, CPM.
That's important, that Williamsburg thing, that it gets maintained the way they.
Yeah, because are we off?
Yeah.
Mr. Diggs said they weren't gonna pay for it.
They weren't?
No.
Honestly, that might be something you want to go take some legal action on, honestly, because